My beloved, pause. Do not scroll. Do not rush past this moment. If you found these words, it is not random. Not because fate is dramatic. Not because destiny is loud. But because timing is precise. Randomness feels empty. This moment does not. You did not arrive here by accident. You arrived because something inside you was ready to recognize this. There were many moments before now when these words could have reached you, and they didn't. And there will be. Moments after now when you will remember this and realize why it mattered. That is how truth works. It does not chase. It waits until awareness catches up. My beloved, you have been moving through life, carrying questions you did not always know how to name. A quiet restlessness, a sense that something needed to change but not knowing exactly what. A feeling that the old way of living no longer fits, even if you cannot yet describe the new way. That feeling is not confusion, it is awakening. If you found this, it is not random because you have reached the edge of unconscious living. The patterns you once repeated without thought now feel heavy. Distractions that once comforted you now feel hollow. Familiar habits no longer give the same relief. This discomfort is not failure. It is readiness. My beloved, look at your life honestly. Notice how much you have already endured. Notice how many times you adapted instead of breaking. Notice how often you kept going quietly when stopping would have been easier. People see outcomes. They do not see the internal work it took to stay standing. That inner work changed you. You are not the same person who once needed constant reassurance. You are not the same person who rushed decisions to escape discomfort. You are not the same person who stayed silent just to avoid conflict. Something in you matured through pressure, and maturity attracts moments like this. If you found this, it is not random because you are no longer satisfied with surface answers. You are not looking for motivation. You are looking for truth that settles, not excites and fades. Truth that helps you live differently, not temporarily. My beloved, there is a reason the noise around you has begun to irritate you. A reason silence feels more attractive than stimulation. A reason you feel drawn inward instead of outward. This is not withdrawal. This is integration. Integration is when lessons stop being intellectual and start becoming embodied. You have learned enough through pain, enough through repetition, enough through waiting. Now life is shifting how it teaches you. Instead of consequences, it is offering recognition. Recognition of what you already know, but have not fully trusted yet. If you found this, it is not random because your intuition has grown louder than your fear. Fear still speaks, but it no longer convinces you as easily. You pause more. You question more. You feel resistance when something is misaligned. That resistance is intelligence, my beloved. Many people pass through life missing these moments because they are always rushing toward the next thing. They call it ambition. But ambition without awareness becomes escape. You are no longer escaping. You are paying attention. Attention changes everything. You may feel an urge right now to label this, to call it a sign, a message, a turning point. You do not need to label it. Labels satisfy the mind. What matters is that your nervous system recognizes truth when it appears. Truth feels calm, even when it challenges you. If you found this, it is not random, because life is about to ask more honesty from you. Not honesty that exposes you, honesty that stabilizes you. Honesty about what you can no longer tolerate. Honesty about what drains you. Honesty about what you are ready to take responsibility for. Responsibility is the doorway to freedom. My beloved, there is a version of you that has already outgrown certain compromises, certain excuses, certain delays. That version has been waiting patiently for you to stop ignoring it. Moments like this exist to reintroduce you to yourself. You are not being called to panic. You are being called to listen. Listen to the tension you feel when you consider staying the same. Listen to the relief you feel when you imagine choosing differently. Listen to the quiet confidence that appears when you think about taking responsibility instead of waiting. Those feelings are not random. If you found this, it is not random because the old cycle is weakening. The cycle of reacting instead of choosing, of postponing instead of committing, of knowing better but acting the same. Cycles end when awareness stays awake long enough. My beloved, do not rush to act after this. Rushing would miss the point. Let this moment settle. Let it disturb you gently. Let it invite questions instead of answers. Questions create space. Space allows truth to enter. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not lost. You are on time. On time to recognize that your life cannot be lived unconsciously anymore. On time to realize that discipline, clarity, and responsibility are no longer optional. On time to understand that drifting will cost more than choosing. If you found this, it is not random because you are capable now, capable of hearing truth without resisting it, capable of changing without collapsing, capable of taking responsibility without fear. That capacity did not exist before. That is why this moment did not arrive earlier. Let this sit with you. Let it work beneath the surface. Let it prepare you for what comes next. Because what follows is not noise, it is direction. My beloved, what follows this moment is not urgency, it is direction. When something is not random, it is purposeful. Purpose does not rush you forward. It aligns you from the inside so your next steps are clean, not desperate. This moment is asking you to stop drifting. Drifting is not laziness. Drifting is living without conscious intention. It is waking up and letting the day decide who you will be. It is reacting to circumstances instead of leading yourself through them. Drifting feels easy at first and expensive later. If you found this, it is not random because you can no longer afford to drift. My beloved, life has already shown you what happens when you leave things unchosen. Time passes. Energy scatters. Opportunities blur. And then one day you ask, how did I get here? That question does not come from failure, it comes from absence of intention. Intention is what you are being invited into now. This moment is asking you to take responsibility without drama. Responsibility does not mean pressure. It means ownership. Ownership of your time. Ownership of your habits. Ownership of your direction. Ownership gives you leverage. My beloved, notice how discomfort now follows indecision. That is not anxiety. That is alignment trying to form. Your system is rejecting half choices. It wants clarity. Clarity calms the nervous system. Chaos excites it, but drains it. You are tired of excitement that leads nowhere. If you found this, it is not random because you are ready to choose structure over spontaneity. Not rigidity, structure. That protects your energy, so your creativity has space to breathe. Structure is not restriction. Structure is permission to focus. My beloved, direction begins with deciding what you will no longer tolerate. Toleration is how misalignment survives. Make quiet decisions now. What drains you? What distracts you? What keeps you small? You do not need to announce these decisions. You need to live them. Direction also means choosing discipline without turning it into punishment. Discipline is not harshness. Discipline is devotion to a future you respect. It is choosing what serves you even when emotion fluctuates. Emotion is weather. Discipline is climate. My beloved, if you found this, it is not random because your excuses no longer comfort you. They once protected you from pressure. Now they feel like weight. You are ready to set them down. Growth requires honesty, not self-criticism, but clarity. Ask yourself gently, what am I avoiding by staying undecided? What would change if I committed fully? What am I afraid I might lose if I choose myself? These questions are not meant to scare you. They are meant to focus you. My beloved, direction will feel uncomfortable at first because it removes ambiguity. Ambiguity feels safe because it avoids consequence. Direction creates consequence, but it also creates progress. Progress requires risk, but risk chosen consciously is power. You may notice resistance when you imagine living with discipline. That resistance is not truth. It is habit. Habit resists replacement. Do not argue with it. Action clarifies what thinking cannot. If you found this, it is not random because your nervous system is ready for consistency. Chaos exhausts you now. Routine calms you. Predictability feels grounding instead of boring. That shift means growth has already begun. My beloved, direction does not demand that you know the entire path. It asks that you take the next honest step. The next step is usually obvious. You just have not wanted to admit it. Admit it now. Do not wait for confidence. Confidence follows commitment. Do not wait for motivation. Motivation follows movement. Decide, then adjust. Adjustment is allowed. Drifting is not. This moment is not asking you to become someone else. It is asking you to stop postponing who you already are. If you found this, it is not random because life is inviting you into authorship. Authorship over your days, over your habits, over your future. Authors do not wait for the story to write itself. Direction has been offered. Whether you accept it is the only question that remains. My beloved, what this moment ultimately asks of you is commitment without noise, not loud promises, not dramatic declarations, quiet, lived commitment, the kind that reshapes a life from the inside out. When something is not random, it carries responsibility. Recognition without response becomes regret. Awareness without action becomes weight. This is where you choose differently. You are being asked to move from knowing to doing, from sensing to structuring, from waiting to leading yourself. Not forcefully, intentionally. The life ahead of you will not be built by moods or circumstances. It will be built by what you repeat when no one is reminding you. Begin by narrowing your focus. Too many intentions dilute power. Choose what matters most now. Your health, your discipline, your clarity, your direction, and let lesser things fall away. Simplification is not loss. It is strength choosing depth. Depth creates momentum. You may feel fear when you imagine committing fully. That fear is not a warning. It is the echo of old identities dissolving. The version of you that survived by postponing is stepping aside for the version that lives by choosing. Let the fear be present without obeying it. Fear fades when action proves safety. Act gently. Act consistently. Your days do not need to be perfect. They need to be intentional. Wake with purpose. Decide one priority. Move your body. Focus your work. Rest cleanly. End the day without dragging it into tomorrow. These simple acts repeated create a life that feels grounded instead of rushed. Grounded lives feel quieter and more powerful. There will be moments when doubt returns and asks whether this path is worth it. When that happens, look at how your body feels compared to before. Look at how your mind settles faster. Look at how decisions feel cleaner. These are signs of alignment. Alignment does not shout. Stay with what steadies you. You are not required to convince anyone of your growth. Growth does not need witnesses. Let your consistency speak. Let your boundaries clarify. Let your absence from old patterns be explanation enough. Some people will not understand your changes. Understanding often arrives late. Do not slow your becoming to wait for it. Honor your energy. Energy is your most honest currency. Spend it where it multiplies, not where it drains. Say no earlier. Leave sooner. Choose rest before resentment forms. These choices are not selfish. They are intelligent. Intelligence protects momentum. As you continue, learn to forgive yourself quickly. Guilt is sticky. It keeps you tied to moments that have already passed. Correction moves you forward. When you slip, adjust and continue. Continuation is what builds trust. Trust is what dissolves anxiety. Anxiety disappears when you know you will show up. Let your standards rise without becoming rigid. Flexibility allows learning. Rigidity breaks under pressure. Balance effort with care. Push with purpose. Recover with respect. Sustainability is how progress lasts. You are not racing anyone. You are building yourself. Notice how your tolerance for chaos decreases as clarity grows. This is discernment sharpening. Protect it. Choose environments that support focus. Choose conversations that add depth. Choose silence when noise offers nothing. Silence will teach you what effort cannot. This moment did not. Find you randomly because you are capable now, capable of responsibility without panic, discipline without punishment, growth without collapse. Capability changes what life offers you next. What comes next will respond to how seriously you take yourself now. Do not wait for a perfect signal. This is the signal. Do not wait for certainty. Certainty comes after commitment. Decide to live deliberately. Decide to structure your days. Decide to respect your future enough to act today, and then live that decision quietly. Let time pass differently now, not slipping through distraction, but accumulating through intention. One day you will look back and realize the change did not happen suddenly. It happened because you stopped calling important moments random and started responding to them with your life. That is how direction becomes destiny. My beloved, carry this awareness forward gently, without turning it into pressure. Pressure tightens the mind. Presence opens it. You are not required to transform overnight. You are required to remain awake in the choices you make each day. Wakefulness is what keeps direction alive. Let your days become quieter, not emptier. Quiet days allow you to hear yourself clearly. In that clarity, you will notice how much energy you once spent resisting what you already knew. That resistance dissolves when action replaces hesitation. Hesitation drains. Action clarifies. You will find that once you commit inwardly, many decisions simplify. You stop weighing every option endlessly. You begin asking better questions. Does this align? Does this strengthen me? Does this respect my future? These questions cut through confusion quickly. Confusion fades when values are clear. As time goes on, trust the rhythm you are building. Rhythm creates stability. Stability allows creativity. Creativity renews motivation. This cycle sustains progress without force. Protect your rhythm. There will be days when old habits knock softly, disguised as comfort. Do not fight them aggressively. Simply do not invite them in. Familiarity loses power when it is not fed. Choose differently, calmly. Let gratitude anchor your discipline. Notice how your body feels stronger, how your mind settles faster, how your reactions soften. Gratitude keeps you from taking growth for granted. Growth acknowledged stays. And when the year advances and new opportunities appear, you will meet them prepared, not rushed. Not desperate, not uncertain. Prepared through daily alignment, not sudden effort. This preparation will feel invisible to others. It will feel unmistakable to you. Continue walking this path without needing reassurance. The evidence will accumulate quietly. One day, you will realize you no longer ask, "Am I capable?" You will know. That knowing is the quiet victory of responding to a moment that was never random.
Thanks for watching Krishna Says. Subscribe for more.